and your use of that spectrum in an aerial capacity starts to interfere with 911 service on the ground.
Okay. So wait a minute. Let me ask you this. You're the expert.
Yeah.
How this rule is coming out, we think, soon, 1,000 pages, whatever this thing is going to look like.
Yeah.
And we don't have the spectrum to actually sort it out to fly beyond visual line of sight, but we might have a rule to comment on from the FAA about VVLOS.
Yeah.
Okay, good times. Good times.
Start over. Audio issue. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I kept you
That's
talking
okay.
in case it popped in.
Okay.
So how's that? Okay.
Yeah, just start over.
Okay.
All right.
When? Tell me when. Oh, we're starting over. Hey, everybody. Dawn Zoldi here. We are live.
Testing new technology.
Testing new technology. Technology is great when it works. And we are at Xponential 2025 in Houston, Texas. I'm here with Jennifer Richter. She is the sponsor, and Aiken is the sponsor for this stream. Also, our gold sponsor for yesterday's Law Tech Connect workshop, which, by the way, was spectacular. We're going to talk about what's going on at this show. We've got a lot of guests lined up, so we're going to kind of roll through those as well. But before we do that, I really want to give Jennifer this opportunity to talk about something that she heard that you all need to hear about the Beyond Visual Line of Sight rule. And number two, what's happening with the spectrum that we need to fly beyond visual line of sight in terms of the FCC. So, Jennifer, first of all, what's the rumor? What are you hearing on the street, around the floor, about Part 108?
Yeah, so super interesting. We are hearing that the FAA is close to releasing the Part 108 proposed rule for beyond visual line of sight. That they're also undertaking a review of Section 229, which is for protection of critical infrastructure from drones. And these are rulemakings we've all been waiting for many, many years. So it's very exciting that these items are under additional review right now by OMB. And there was some hope that they might come out this week, but they're not going to. As far as I know, they're not going to.
You heard?
I was at the FAA last week and heard that it's going to be 2 to 3 months, and then that was confirmed at a lunch that I was just in. So I think we're expecting it in 2 to 3 months.
So you heard it here first, and guess how many pages, everybody? How many pages you can expect to be reading in 2 to 3 months? Go ahead,
1,000 pages.
1,000 pages. Good times.
Amazing.
So looking forward to that. Because surely it's 1,000 pages of goodness. But here's the important thing. In those 1,000 pages, what you're not going to see is potentially dedicated spectrum to enable these beyond visual line of sight flights, which is an FCC issue. And Jennifer, just really quickly get people up to speed on where we are on that.
I will. So there is dedicated spectrum for UAS. It's 5030 to 5091, and the FCC released an order on that over the last year or so, but they didn't really reach any conclusions. They've only allowed for temporary use of the 5040 to 5060, and you've got to go through processes at the FCC and the FAA to get use of that spectrum, and we're helping companies, clients through that. But that's just temporary, and there really there is not a durable regulatory structure for how we're going to use this 5030 to 5091 yet. And there are some studies that are being undertaken by the FCC, FAA, and NTIA.
Yeah.
And separately, there's an AAM rulemaking where they're considering use of the 450 megahertz, which is the AURA spectrum, and the 24 gigahertz, which is used by Echodyne and Matrix Space for radars. That's a separate proceeding pending at the FCC. The most important thing for you to know here is that when I got done speaking yesterday, I had a line of people to talk with me because I let everybody know that use of the commercial wireless bands, LTE, 4G, 5G, the spectrum used for those services, is not approved by the FCC for use in an aerial function. The FCC was clear about this in a report in 2020, and they said, we know that we need to look at these issues again, and we will in a future rulemaking. But when they did the 5030 to 5091 rulemaking, it was teed up and they punted. They didn't do anything with it. So we are nowhere on FCC confirming that we can use the commercial wireless bands for UAS.
And this is what we call the flexible bands, if you will. And Jennifer here has the written order from that more recent rulemaking Let's read that one sentence that's really powerful that kind of essentially punts the issue.
Yes. So the FCC says, the record reflects the widely held view that alternative frequencies licensed under flexible use service rules, so that's LTE, 4G, 5G, are a promising option for UAS communications, particularly for beyond visual line of sight and other network-based use cases. The record is insufficient, however, to resolve certain issues, including the potential for UAS in the flexible use bands to cause harmful interference to other operations. We recommend the Commission continue to review the use of flexible use bands for UAS and engage in interference studies. So yesterday people were asking me, what is that scenario that it could cause a problem on the ground? So if you're using the same band, whatever the band is that they're using for 4G and 5G, you're using it in the air and you're using it on the ground at the same time, they have the potential to interfere with each other. And Qualcomm has a report from, a dozen years ago that talks about how that happens at density. So imagine that happens in your area. You're using the 4G, 5G bands, and you're flying a lot with it, and it starts to interfere with what's going on the ground in the commercial wireless bands, which could include 911 service.
Yikes.
Now you've got a big problem. So.
Well, because we had issues with the 5G and general aviation when they rolled out 5G.
Totally.
You remember that? People were like all up in arms, like this is going to be an issue, it's going to interfere with things.
Yeah.
So
this is not doomsday, though. Let me just say, this is just really a call to action that industry needs to be pushing the FCC and the FAA for greater clarity on this so that these bands can lawfully be used.
Absolutely.
And with the beyond visual line of sight rules coming, and the FCC knows that these bands are important to BB loss, it's important that we get these issues resolved.
100%. 100%.
So that's it. Law Tech Connect was awesome this year. Really do want to encourage everybody to come and be part of that program. It's always just super high quality programming and a great opportunity to be with lawyers and business people that really care about this intersection of law and technology. So look up the programs for future years.
Yeah, and check out on Autonomy Global because we're going to start pushing out once a month Law Tech Connect online, all of these panels from yesterday. So we're going to, in fact, start with the Beyond Visual Line of Sight UTM panel in June. So stay tuned for that. But Jennifer, people may have questions about this or other things. How can they reach you and learn more about what you do and what Aiken does?
For sure. So Jennifer Richter like the scale, Richter. I'm at Aiken Gump. It's a law firm. So jrichter at aikengump.com. Totally happy to talk with anybody about these issues further. You can also find me at, on LinkedIn, and if you know Dawn's posts, I'm in those posts too, so lots of ways to find me. And
fun fact, Aiken has an amazing executive order tracker because every other day there seems to be a flurry of those coming out. So if you want to know what's happening in the government, check that out. They have a lot of great blogs, so their website's chock full of information. So thank you so much, Jennifer.
Of course, my pleasure. Yeah,
all right, awesome. Thank you. All right, next up we've got the Weather Don Bershoff. By the way, we are at the True Weather Solutions booth. So thank you, Don, for letting us squat in your space.
Well, first of all, what we're going to talk
Okay, wait a minute. Is this an anemometer?
That's an anemometer.
I knew the word, anemometer.
And it's pressure.
Say that 10 times fast.
So this is yours.
Oh, look.
All right.
I've got a T-shirt. I've got swag. We look to the clouds.
We look at clouds, and we know things. Right.
Ooh.
Pretty deep, huh?
It is very deep.
But the thing is, Dawn, is humans still make a difference in forecasting.
Do they really?
Yeah. So
they're still making a difference?
We still make a difference. So when we look at the clouds, we can actually see things you can't see about the weather.
Okay.
And that's why you still need us.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So you've got some big releases at this show.
Yep.
You got a new app. Tell them about the new app.
And Cy is behind there. He's the man behind the screen.
Okay.
We believe very strongly that this app is going to be the best weather app for UAS weather on the market because we add more observation data. You can buy this sensor. And
what is this sensor?
This is a Tempest. This is like $1,000. You can put this out, winds, solar powered, comms or Wi-Fi or cellular, and you can get a weather station locally, and you turn it on, and within 12 hours it'll show up in your app. and you'll have that data, and then you can crowdsource. If you get your friends to buy these in other areas, you can start crowdsourcing that data and bringing it in.
Now, what about this? Can I buy this guy? How much is this? And can I crowdsource it onto my app?
Yeah, so this is...
with all my neighbors.
You can crowdsource this on the app with all your neighbors and share. And the bottom line is this could go on a drone, too.
It's super light.
Yeah.
Is this like 3D printed?
Yeah, well... I don't know how it's printed.
I mean, it looks like it is.
But it is super light.
What do I know?
But this could be on a drone. So we were talking to my friends over at Census about this and saying, look, if you have a fleet of 10 or 15 drones, and you want to just put 1 or 2 of these on some of your drones, as they're doing their regular mission, we could collect real data. That gets fed back into our systems with this other data. We crowdsource that, and we get a better picture of what's happening.
Right.
And eventually, we're going to do machine learning,
and
we're going to run low altitude models in areas.
That's amazing.
So this is where we're going.
Yeah.
And the app is the key because we want this in everyone's hands.
Now, what are we calling this app?
What are we calling this app, Sai?
TrueWeather V360.
It's TrueWeather V360
app. Got it.
We try not to be too complicated.
All right. No, well, you are a simple guy. That's why we love him. By the way, Don was also part of our Law Tech Connect yesterday on the Advanced Air Mobility panel. We don't have a lot of AAM in terms of eVTOLs and things like this at this show. But Don, I know you've been out and about a little bit as you're walking the floor because you've been here many, many years. How would you say it's evolved over time?
Well, I think the ecosystem pieces, when we first came here several years ago, it was stovepipe. Everybody was trying to figure out what's my play in this industry? What could I build? How about this? How about that? And then, we started getting these software capabilities that were coming up. And then we started getting those refined, and now everybody is starting to connect those software pieces together. Right? And so we've actually have established an ecosystem now that is pretty functional for UTM. Right? And with the detect and avoid, right? Getting sensors out in the field, like ATSB sensors, and getting that data flow.
They're all here.
It's all here, and it's coming together, and now we're starting to see drones that are advancing in their capabilities.
And maybe even with weather sensors on them.
And weather,
just saying.
People told me...
That feed into apps.
That's it. 7 years ago, people told me they didn't need any weather. They got their weather on their app. And I said, but that's not real data. And they said, well, we'll get to you later. Well, guess what? They're coming now. Because
they're coming now. And by the way, they're coming to this booth. What number is this? What are we talking about?
3704.
So Lisa trained him well. 3704. Not only can you meet Don and talk weather all day long, see some cool sensors, they also not only have amazing swag like the t-shirt he gave me, they have Dots pretzels. So if you're hungry, not just for knowledge about weather, but for the best pretzels in town.
Like TrueWeather.
This is the place to be.
Like TrueWeather, Dots pretzels are the rage. So,
there you go. That new tagline.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
Thanks you so much. You're the best.
Yeah,
all right.
You too. Thanks for everything.
All right. Do you want us to leave this sensor back here, or you want to take it?
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Oh, we'll leave it there.
It's a little subliminal.
Okay, but, we'll leave it there. We'll keep it in the background.
There you go.
So, all right, next up, we've got Mary Caitlin Ray from Kroll Mooring. Mary Caitlin was one of our silver sponsors in Kroll yesterday at Law Tech Connect. She's been coming here for several years as well. By the way, former FAA counsel, doing all kinds of things in this space now. So great to have you back on the show.
Thanks, John. Great to be here.
And there's a whole team yesterday there with us at Law Tech Connect doing all kinds of things. And again, you'll see them on our various live streams. But what do you keep coming back year after year to this show?
I love coming to Law Tech Connect and Xponential. I think so much of what we get out of it is really in the words, right? Law Tech Connect in particular for your event, Don. I really love to see the things that I'm working on for clients, and there's no better place to come and do that than here, where you actually get to see the weather sensors, for example.
There you go, the weather sensors.
You get to see the aircraft. You get to see the software. You get to see everything. And that's really fun for me. And it's also just a great place to come to be all together in Houston as an industry, and you just run into so many people. It's a great place to collaborate, and to think about what's going on in our industry.
Absolutely, and there's a lot going on in this industry. We just heard about the biggest thing, the BVLOS rule is looking maybe to come out in a couple months, 1,000 pages. You worked at the FAA. I know they get a lot of flack for how long this is taking, but the reality is administration changes and things like this. How do you feel that this new rule will kind of open up the industry?
I think the new rule is going to be really critical for coming up with a long-term solution for integrating more complex operations. And I think long-term is really the important piece there. And that goes to, the FAA is thinking really critically and strategically and long-term about what is going to be sort of a fix for the UAS industry. Up until now, we've been fitting the square peg into the round hole.
With all the exemptions and waivers and deviations and you name it.
Yeah, and this, hopefully, I think will be a long-term way to fully integrate UAS into the existing regulatory framework in every sense. We talked a little bit about maintenance yesterday, but that's one of the things I'm really excited to see.
Do you think it's going to be in the rule?
I hope it will be in the rule.
Well, it makes sense because you can't have something flying well beyond your visual line of sight and then it falls apart because it's not maintained.
Right, and I mean, you think of that, we have Part 145, already.
True.
And, I think if the hope is that Part 108 is really a soup to nuts rule that's going to address certification at every level, it would hopefully address maintenance as well.
Well, and then there could be whole entire company business models, career fields opened up for this. So I think it's going to be exciting times indeed. But now you guys put out a lot of thought leadership yourselves at Kroll. I know you've got a blog. Tell people a little bit about where they can find out, what it is.
We do have a great blog. It's called Moving Forward. You can find it on our website, kroll.com. You can also reach out to me, emre@kroll.com, or find me on LinkedIn, send me a direct message. I'm happy to disseminate the link to the blog, but it's very easy to subscribe. You just find it through our website, hit the subscribe button, and you'll have access to really everything, all modes is what we cover, sort of all modes and all legal practice areas. We've got links to podcasts that recently have been covering tariffs and export and import and customs issues that have touched all different parts of the transportation industry, incling aviation.
Okay, amazing.
So it's a real industry-based thought leadership.
Yeah, I mean, the tariffs, another hot topic. I mean, supply chain. We heard a lot about that yesterday, but awesome. So, Mary Caitlin, I know you got to run. You got to catch an airplane yourself.
I do.
Tell everybody how they can reach you and learn more about Kroll.
Everyone can reach me at MRAY@Kroll, CROWELL.com. Again, I'm very active on LinkedIn, so feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well.
All right, very good. I'm going to get your buddy out of here. We're going a little out of order. Get Rob Knockenhauer up here from Census Technologies. This was kind of a drive-by opportunity. Census has got an amazing booth down the line down there, and Rob has been a scholar at Law Tech Connect. I see him at virtually every show, and he's eager to do a coffee with Mary Caitlin before she departs. So
that's right.
tell him, first of all, a little bit about what you do at Census, and then secondarily, what's so cool at this show this year?
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Don. Thanks for having me. It's always good to see you. So I'm Rob Knockenhauer. I'm the Director of Regulatory Affairs for Census Technologies. So Census Technologies is a drone manufacturer based in Daytona Beach, Florida. And what I do for them is I help, first off, so the company I work for, they build a VTOL fixed-wing aircraft that we designed specifically for doing beyond visual line of sight flight operations. And in the course of actually getting those types of operations approved, we need to talk to our friends at the Federal Aviation Administration.
Of course.
And what I do is I help our clients who may not be well versed in how to communicate with the FAA, how to put together an effective safety case to help them get the permissions to do those beyond visual line of sight operations that they're seeking to conduct. And so why I'm here is because, we have a booth here. It is 4305.
I knew it was right down the way, right here.
It's right down the way, exactly. So 4305, this year we're showcasing some new things that we've never shown before. One is our new aircraft, the Centero 6. So this is an aircraft that has longer flight endurance, about probably double about what our outgoing aircraft does.
I'm going to have to check it out.
You will have to check it out. Yeah. And the thing that will blow your mind, absolutely, is the dock.
You got a dock?
We have a
dock.
Wait,
it's a fixed wing.
You got a dock? Go see the dock. That's all I gotta say.
I will go over there. I will be taking a picture of it. By the way, I will have a reel this weekend with some pictures from the show throughout the whole week. So I will take a picture of this thing and stay tuned for more. So Amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
So as you're aware, there are a number of companies that are rolling out docks.
Yeah.
Most of these companies that are rolling out docks, whether it's Skydio or DJI.
Sure,
We don't talk about those guys.
Yeah.
So anyhow, or American Robotics or Percepto or a whole host of different companies that have had a lot of success in rolling out and doing remote operations. There's been a few folks that we've been talking to have been compelled to do similar things with a fixed-wing aircraft.
Yeah.
In basically setting up docks in places that are very remote, where it takes them hours to get to their service territory, where they can basically set something like this up and run it from wherever their office happens to be.
All right.
So that's the big news for us.
Well, that's the big news. They've got a new drone, the Centero 6. They've got a dock for this thing, even though it's a fixed wing. So check them out. More to follow. And how can they learn about it? If they're not here, they know if you are here, you go to this booth. If you're not here, where do they learn more?
CensusTechnologies.com.
And spell it.
Oh, jeez.
It's on your shirt, dude. It's CENSYS. Oh, my God.
All right, sorry. It's actually...
This is live. This is live,
so
for real.
So it's CENSYSTECH.com.
CensusTech.com.
CensusTech.
There you go. All right, my friend. So great to see you again.
Great to see you.
All right,
too.
as
Enjoy
always.
the show.
As always. Thank you.
Thanks,
thank you.
Don.
All right, we're going to get Tom Sawyer up here from Grand Sky. So Tom was part of our LawTech Connect. He was a bronze sponsor, actually brought out one of many, many people from North Dakota. Like, this is almost like the North Dakota South edition, if you will, because like they have a giant booth. We had Northern Plains UAS test site, your colleagues and partners. They're out in force, UND students. Amazing. So, but you're going to be on a panel tomorrow.
I'm going to be on a panel tomorrow.
Tell them about it.
Talking about Project Ultra, UAS, logistics, traffic, response, and autonomy. A project that sponsored by the Department of Defense to kind of bring working projects like logistics and cargo transport and traffic management. So kind of killing two birds with one stone at the same time.
Well, it's a huge deal, everybody, because being former United States Air Force, they're flying a drone from Grand Forks Air Force Base flight line to, what's the space
Cavalier
base?
Space Force
Cavalier Space Force Station, 50 miles?
50 miles, one way.
50 miles in the national airspace with all the other commercial traffic and military traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And leveraging UAS traffic management, eventually counter-drone technology is going to be involved in this thing. But you guys just had some...
Ground-based sense and avoid, yeah.
Ground-based sense and avoid. You guys just had demos.
We did. In April,
Tell
we did a
about
whole
that.
bunch of demonstrations around flight envelope to prove the safety case, prove that we could launch, land, switch payloads, come back, do that over shorter distances, and then we did it over some longer distances, all the way up to Cavalier, where we didn't land. We just stopped, hovered, and then turned around, and then be able to prove that the radio links will work, the Starlink C2 link works. All of those things are working, and that enabled that. And then we did an endurance flight, 416 miles within our beyond line of sight coverage area of a Class 3 US. Yes.
Holy shnikes. Well, and the big thing is July. Tell them about July.
July, we are doing the official mission requirements for our contract, our 10 round-trip flights. We had to prove in April that the aircraft was airworthy enough to do it, that it was reliable enough to do it. And so now in July, we're going to actually do that with a very distinguished VIP audience. Senator Hoeven, Senator Kramer, and a lot of the folks from DOD that will be there, friends and family and sponsors. So I'm gonna, let's get that done. Get the official work done beforehand.
Here's a really exciting thing for people watching that want to do business at Grand Sky, that want to get involved with Project Ultra. There's a new task order. And you're looking for specific types of companies. Tell everybody who you're looking to partner with.
So we have two new task orders.
Haven't
been awarded yet. We're still negotiating and discussing.
Yeah.
So I'll probably get in trouble for saying it all. But the first thing that we're doing is continuing these logistics flights to Cavalier.
Okay.
And we're looking to add 2 or 3 more Class 3 UAS. The more all-weather capable, the better.
Drones.
We need bigger drones. We want to have at least a 50-pound capacity. We don't care if it's all electric or all gas. It can be hybrid, all of that.
Yeah.
We just need to be able to fly up and back on a single charge or gas tank.
Yeah.
And then the second task order is around airspace management around Grand Forks Air Force Base and integrating counter UAS and other detection, identification, and tracking technologies to be able to manage and work through what the beneficial UAS are doing and separate that from the notional bad guy.
Well, I don't know if you're looking right across the aisle here.
Yeah, I'm looking
You
at that
need to
thing.
be talking to Aerial Loop.
Yeah.
So I'll introduce you when we're done.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. How can people learn more? How can they reach you?
So I think I gave the wrong address out. First, just call Dawn. If you go to Dawn,
you
Dawn knows how to find me.
Just like call me.
You know, Law Tech Connect, all those kinds of things. Yeah, just go to Autonomy Global. That's your best bet. And find me there.
All right.
Project Ultra, actually, GrandSkyND.com is the fastest way to do that.
Yeah, and so if you Google Grand Sky, you have to have the ND in there to find their website. I've done that many times. So thank you so much, Tom.
Thank
You're
you
awesome.
very much.
Appreciate
I appreciate you.
All right. We've got Maggie Schuster coming up now. You all probably know Maggie because she's been my partner in crime on our Clubhouse for like several years.
Literally,
we didn't we didn't do Clubhouse this year.
No.
In part because I opened up Autonomy Global, and big news, Maggie's now working for Fixar. Hello.
Yes.
So tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing with Fixar.
Fixar Global, and the R&D is in Riga, Latvia, but we're bringing it to the States. Fixar Global is stationed in Virginia. That's our main office. But I'm excited because I get to fly again. And I was like, I get to walk the talk now, setting up my safety protocols and getting ready for a flight and planning a mission. And actually putting one of their drones, the 007, I call it, Fixar. The whole thing is, the concept is it's a VTOL.
Yeah.
And we've got 3 models, but the one that we're promoting today
at Xponential
for the first time in the United States, by the way, it
that's
is
big. You heard it here.
Super. Can I say sexy? It is.
It's red.
It's red, and the aerodynamics of this.
It's the 025.
It's the 025.
The 025. It looks like a triangle.
I want to tell you, the 025 can go 3.5 hours.
What?
3.5 hours on one charge. It can carry up to 4 payloads. It's proprietary autopilot.
Yeah.
And management system. So it's like a computer in the sky.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm flying this and then I want to switch, let's say I'm flying it doing video and I want to change and all of a sudden I want to do LiDAR for measurements.
Yeah.
It can still be in the sky and switch to the next.
Oh my gosh,
that's
unbelievable.
Mission. And it can carry 22 pounds.
Unbelievable.
And guess what? It's still under 55 pounds.
Here's the other thing.
I want to talk to
If you're here, tell them where your booth is.
Oh, so first of all, it was Dawn's idea.
No.
It was your idea. Free coffee for the 3 days that we're here.
Free coffee, everybody.
Coffee
just saying.
Station, but it's 2504.
2504.
And we're at the end cap, so it's easy to find. Come get your coffee, say hello, and then you guys
and then you can
around.
pet the 025.
I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of great people here.
There is.
That are familiar faces, but there's new faces too because this industry is getting bigger and bigger.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely.
Anyway, thank you. I know you guys.
And by the way, everybody, Maggie has been a critical part of Law Tech Connect every year.
Love it.
Cannot do that event without her. She worked her tushy off.
My feet.
Filling up swag bags, like doing registration. I can't thank you enough. So thank you.
But, the thing
She's the best.
Is that it's a free ticket for me to listen to all these panels, and the topics are so
mind-blowing.
amazing. It
so
is.
good.
It really is. And if you miss it, next year,
Detroit. And you can watch the panels, but I'll tell you, it's about the connections being made there. But anyway, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to get Lauren up next.
Come on, Lauren.
We've got Lauren from Caresoft now. For those of you that follow me, you've seen Lauren multiple times. She's been on the Dawn of Autonomy. She's on a bunch of my live streams previously. Caresoft is one of my very close partners. And in fact, I brought you guys to this show.
Yes.
Are you happy about it? Are you happy?
I am so stoked to be here again.
Okay, tell everybody why.
We love coming back here. I think it's not only just connecting with our existing partners here, but meeting new ones who want to grow their government business with us, and even just hearing from our government customers in person, their missions, and just really seeing all this hardware in person is life-changing.
It's really cool. Speaking of life-changing, that Expo Rodeo was pretty amazing last night.
It was so great.
Carasoft was one of the sponsors for this, and I didn't bring the hat.
Oh,
but they had flashing black
gosh.
sequin Carasoft cowboy hats. Everybody was wearing them. Super cool.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that event? That was pretty great.
I love that event. This is my first time in Houston. So
Yeehaw!
Yeah, right?
Just saying. Yeah.
It was really nice, and I loved seeing everyone rocking the sequin, sparkly, light-up Carasoft hats. Hopefully everyone, if you're here, you're able to take them home. Let's meet up at the airport if you want. We'll all wear it.
I'm shoving it in my bag. I'm going to be able to fit it for sure. But I've actually told people to go to your booth because they're looking to do business with, the government sector and things like this. You said you've been walking around. What's the coolest thing you've seen?
Oh, the coolest thing?
Yeah, the coolest. I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, there's a unicorn walking around with a remote control robot.
What?
So
Like a humanoid robot?
No, small, small on the ground. I don't
So
know
like
exactly.
a dog one?
Yeah.
So like a unicorn walking a robot dog.
Yes.
How did I miss this?
It was right down this aisle, right
Okay.
here in front of the True Weather Solutions booth.
All right.
Don't know exactly what they were doing quite yet, but that was fun.
Okay.
Just in general, I've been seeing a lot of AI integration into autonomous solutions.
AI's everywhere.
So, I mean, that's huge. Tons of DFR technologies.
Yep. Drones first responder, most of you know that.
Drones first responder, and anything with public safety. During your Law Tech Connect panel, what was really interesting was someone was talking about the city of Alberta in Canada. Using
we brought some
biologists
Canadians
and
down there actually to get to cross the border without getting arrested. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
And they were using a certified drone pilot who was also into biology to detect their wildlife.
Yes.
So that was really cool. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah, that was an interesting use case. This was Tedman Jess from Suncor Energy was talking about how they basically use drones because there's tailings ponds and other things in the energy sector. They need to make sure the birds don't land in those. So they use drones to scare them away, essentially. But they have to have a biologist with them per the regulator. So that's really cool stuff. Yeah, it was super fun.
I know.
Yeah, so how do people learn more about Carasoft? First of all, where's your booth and how can they find you?
Our booth is number 2604, right at the entrance back here, and you can find us on our socials. We'll be at the Drone and AAM Symposium coming up in July.
Yes, and hopefully party. More to follow on that. Stay tuned.
Yes, of course.
Always.
And you can reach out directly to us at drones@carasoft.com or visit our website if you're looking to partner with us, or if you're a government customer and want to see what solutions we're partnering with to help complete your missions. Check us out there, and happy to help.
Well, and here's the other thing I'm going to give everybody a piece of advice that you want to work with them. If you have a solution and you look at their other solutions, come with a proposal like, we can be better together. Use those words, better together. Those solutions sell. And that's what you're looking to do, right? And that helps you, that helps them, that helps everybody, helps the industry.
Yep,
So,
we're really
awesome.
looking to have, if you're using drone to collect your hardware, what geospatial tools are you using for your mapping, where are you storing it? We have cloud providers, really just that end-to-end solution, and looking forward to seeing everyone here or connecting afterwards if you're not.
Woohoo! Or in July, in
July.
DC at the FAA Drone and AM Symposium.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dawn.
you. All right, we're going to get David Lewin up here. Echo Dine. And he's got the hat to prove it right here.
I sure do.
So this man, you may have seen him. He's a familiar face because he's got this thing every Thursday he does. It's called This Week in Drones.
That's right.
Where he's yammering with a whole bunch of people about cool stuff happening in the industry. But this is not your first rodeo here, is it?
At Xponential?
Yeah.
Second or third now.
Second or third?
I think third, actually.
Third. Now, you guys have a booth?
Yes, absolutely. So Echodyne is at booth 2221.
2221.
Yep.
And tell everybody a little bit about what Echodyne does.
Sure. Yeah, so we are a radar manufacturer here in the U.S., and we're supporting everything from counter drone whether it's military or even like prisons that have issues with contraband coming in, drones delivering, big drops, or ports or airports that are concerned about drones being in their airspace that shouldn't be there. And then, the whole other half of what we're supporting is helping integrate drones into the national airspace. With detection and with airspace awareness. Well,
we heard the Beyond Visual Line of Sight rules should be dropping the NPRM, hopefully in a couple months, maybe 1,000 pages. You heard it here first. Radar, this airspace awareness, critical to Beyond Visual Line of Sight. I mean, for sure. The yin to UAS's yang, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and something I've heard at the show is a progression into, you said AI earlier, but also just autonomy in general.
Yes.
Right? I mean, thus Autonomy Global hits.
AutonomyGlobal.co. Whoa. You got it.
But really, to achieve autonomy safely, you need good data.
Yes.
And you need it to be accurate. I think a lot of the test beds that we put together are awesome. They get us to a certain point, but I think when you move into the real world applications, sometimes technology needs to shift and be, either further reaching or more accurate. And so, we've been able to step into that space. So we have our Xponential radar that has been known in the industry for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Our Echo Guard, that's our shorter range, but then we released the Echo Shield about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And that's supporting these further reaching drones now. Like someone came to our booth today and said they were using an agriculture drone that went like 2 or 3 miles, but they said the next gen is going to be like 6, 7 miles.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they needed the larger radar for that reach. So it's exciting to see.
That is cool. Speaking of exciting to see, you've been walking around, you've been talking to people. Yeah. What are you excited about from this show? Like, what are you seeing that's exciting?
Right behind our booth is the massive Whisk.
I haven't made it there yet. Do they have is it the Cora?
It's huge. It's yellow.
The yellow Cora aircraft.
I'm standing there talking to someone, they're looking over my shoulder, not paying attention to me. I'm like, what's going on? And it's massive and amazing looking. I didn't get to ride it in or anything.
Very cool.
That stoked my, sparked my attention for sure.
I think it might be the only eVTOL here.
Okay.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of really weird looking drones too. I just saw a dock that was like the weirdest shaped thing, and the drone was like circular and came out of it. I'm like, who are you people? And what are you doing? So it's just so cool, like the stuff we're seeing here.
And just the speed of innovation.
Absolutely.
Right? To my example of that agriculture drone. The next gen is already like twice as far reaching. I think it's moving insanely quickly.
True Weather's a great example. Just released the app. So do you guys have any news or anything you want to update anybody on? We've got the far-reaching radar you just mentioned.
For sure, and now we're being deployed on the move, while moving.
The portable, man-portable?
Attached to vehicles.
Oh, to a vehicle,
We're able to still provide all the detections and classification, everything, while the radars are moving. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
exciting.
amazing.
Crazy stuff coming.
So next I want to see the really small swap, little tiny ones you put on the drone.
Oh, totally.
So, so I'm just saying, I'm just giving you a hint.
Yeah, we have
business advice.
They're a little bigger, but we go on the big fixed wing drones.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Well, and on that note, now we're flying higher as well. And when you get a bit higher, you start running into aircraft that are moving faster.
Oh, true.
And you need the further reaching detection.
True.
It's powerful to see.
It is. Yeah. Now, you've got something going on this week. You're doing a stream from here as well. Is that on Thursday?
Yeah. So
tell everybody about that.
Absolutely. So every week, as Don mentioned, we stream live the podcast called This Week in Drones. So every Thursday, it's usually 1 p.m. Eastern, or it'll be noon here Central Time, which will throw me off a little bit, but hey, And so we'll be actually out of the Xponential booth. We'll be sitting down with a couple of industry friends of the industry, friends of LawTech Connect and all. Just great people, and we're just going to deep dive into a couple topics that are highlighted here in the industry, or in the event.
So how do they find it though? YouTube, your LinkedIn.
Yeah. You can look up This Week in Drones on LinkedIn, on YouTube, thisweekindrones.com, or if you go .com/livestream, you can pull it up live right there. But just find me on LinkedIn. Just look up David Lewin or search This Week in Drones, and it'll pop right up.
Well, perfect. I'm bummed that I won't be here. I'm actually departing early Thursday. I've been here since Sunday, running my LawTech Connect, etc. Kind of exhausted already. Got to get home at some point, so I'm sorry I'm going to miss that, but I will check the stream later. Thank you, my friend. And how can people learn more about Echodyne as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, Echodyne.com. I think hopefully you can see my hat. The
there you go.
Right there. Echodyne.com.
And by the way, David is going to be on the Dawn of Autonomy podcast in June. Echodyne is sponsoring that month. It's dedicated to the theme of security. You'll be on with a colleague. So first Wednesday in June. Awesome. Check it out. Thank you so much, my friend. All right. Thanks for being here. And last but not least, he's been waiting patiently in the wings, and God bless him. Ned Tobbett is coming on down from Meadowlark Aviation, Meadowlark Aircraft Company. So Ned is not wearing his super cool tie today.
I have
By the way, he's got several, but tell them the one you were wearing yesterday at my Law Tech Connect.
Oh, I wore my Remove Before Flight. It's a
Remove
red tag.
Before Flight.
Red tag, because we don't want to pilot. We want to fly unmanned.
That's right. So Ned was on our Dawn of Autonomy podcast back in January, and you were a scholar at Law Tech Connect yesterday. What did you think about it?
I loved it. And let me tell you what part was the highlight for me. Was
what?
Discussion on the energy panel about using drones for oil field inspection at the Arctic Circle. Because
yes,
we live
the
in
Arctic Circle.
Yes, we live in North Dakota. It's quite cold, but it's not as cold as the Suncor team was operating their drones. And so what we'd like to do is make sure that we understand the requirements for that far north and be able to operate. There are a number of things that obviously there's the air density that's different as well, but mostly it has to operate from minus 40 degrees to probably 30, 40 above zero. So both the platform itself, but also the sensor packages have to be capable of operating in those extreme temperatures.
And are you working on that?
We are working to about minus 20, but I think we need to seriously think about taking it. It gets quite more complex when you go below minus 20, both for people and for aircraft.
Yeah.
And
well, you know, the alternative, we heard that. Because Ted Manjust again, I think it was Suncor Energy, right?
That's right, yeah.
He said, well, you know what? We're up in Canada, we put on a parka, and we send somebody out there if the drone can't go. And I'm thinking, good Lord, it's like minus 40 degrees.
Exactly.
So yeah, let's get a drone to do that. Let's get a drone. Ned, you got to do that.
I would like to.
All right, very good, very good.
We have obviously more urgent things like North Dakota, but...
Yeah, North Dakota, sure. Let's get that going first.
We'll get up there. If we can do that, I think it will get significantly more difficult. So that was the main takeaway from so far.
Yeah. And now you guys have a booth here.
We do, 1601.
1601. So tell people like who you're looking to partner with, like what you're looking for in terms of someone walking up to your booth. Who's that perfect person?
So we are a platform integrator. So we build the airfoil and we integrate all the subsystems. So if I like to break things down because I'm a systems engineer to 6 subsystems and then down to components and whatnot. And so anybody who's doing anything from propulsion to guidance system to autopilot, we would love to talk to you because we build bespoke aircraft. So every client the aircraft is built to purpose for that client. And so we are quite component agnostic. We will try to match the best performing component and subsystems to the client needs.
Well,
I'll give you an example.
You need to meet Modal AI. They're doing autopilots. They're one of the first Blue Framework certified companies. So anybody doing defense, that's someone you might want to talk to. But
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ned's going to be on the Dawn of Autonomy again in August. Bigger and Better Month. You guys are sponsoring that month. Very thankful for that. You can also, of course, meet him at the UAS Summit in North Dakota in October. His team will be out there in force. But in the meantime, how can people... Oh, and you're going to be at the FAA Drone and AAM Symposium, sponsoring our stream from there. So you're going to see this guy's face again. He's going to tell us what's live from FAA Drone AM in July. But how can people reach you in the meantime?
Well, let me add one more to that.
Yeah.
I learned yesterday that 2 weeks from now, again, back in Houston is where the
Energy Drone, you're coming?
And so I have a conflict right now, but I really would like to come. So
I will be there.
To come.
Well, I hope
to
see you.
I need to pick your brain afterwards.
Oh, I will totally.
You
can pick away.
But again, the best way to get a hold of us is through the website, meadowlarkaircraft.com, or if you're too lazy to type that much, it's macnd.com. Either one will work. And
MacND.
talk to us about your use case. Let us design an aircraft. And I want to give one example. If you come to our booth here, you will see that we had a client that was a high-end food delivery to sailboats. And so sky's the limit how much you can charge. And they wanted that aircraft to look like a lobster. So we actually designed a lobster.
You have a lobster aircraft?
Aircraft for that one particular client. It's got a hold that keeps the temperature. So when the hold opens and the trapdoors open and the pizza is lowered, it would be a perfect.
All right, the lobster delivering the pizza. I mean, holy shnikes!
Exactly.
I'm taking a picture of this thing when I go over there.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you. That's so cool.
Lovely.
So great to see you.
All right.
All right. Last but not least, for real, I've got Joel Roberson. Okay, he was supposed to be earlier. He's a busy guy. He's a high-powered attorney. He's with Holland and Knight. They were also our silver sponsors at Law Tech Connect, and it is so great to have you here.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. Appreciate you holding the Law Tech Connect. It was a fantastic opportunity to network with folks and talk about the emerging issues in the autonomy space.
Yeah, I mean, brought out his team in force, and you guys have so many cool clients in this space. What's like the most exciting thing for you at this show?
Just seeing what's coming next and thinking about how to help clients figure out the pathway to pull that future forward. When we think about transportation as a highly regulated industry, in order to get that next technology, which could save lives, could help make travel more efficient, could help surveillance and defense applications, because transportation is so highly regulated, we need the government to be a partner in bringing that future into reality. So here at AVSI and at Law Tech Connect, we get to see what that future looks like and help make it a reality, because policy and legislation and regulation are really critical to allowing that to happen.
Yeah, give me one example of one of these technologies you're thinking about in terms of future forward. I love that term.
So as we think about drone deliveries, for instance, today we have a regime where we've got airspace that's relatively segregated with a small unmanned aircraft at low altitudes, large aircraft at higher altitudes. We need to start thinking about how going from a 2-pound package to a 200-pound package, and how we can more efficiently move those things through the airspace, get trucks off the roads, allow people to reduce the cost of transit or transportation. So those types of things really require industry to develop a solution with safety first, but knowing who their customer is and what the business model needs to look like, and for the regulator to understand that and be able to think through those beyond visual line of sight regulations, those PHMSA needs to update its regulations on hazardous material transport, obviously opening up the skies to Part 135 operators operating at that smaller scale. So all of those things have a bunch of trickle down, and of course that's applying also as much as it is in the air. It's also applying on the ground with autonomous vehicles and at sea with maritime. But
absolutely. So question. We heard that maybe in the next 2 months or so, the NPRM for BVLOS, the Part 108, may actually hit the streets. We also heard it might be like 1,000 pages long. If you were looking into a crystal ball, tell me one thing that you think is going to be in there that might surprise people.
Yeah, it's a great question. So obviously the BVLOS rule has been long anticipated. We talked a lot about that at the sessions this week, but with the Aviation Rulemaking Committee having come out over 2 years ago. So everyone is dying to see what's in this.
Yes, we all are, for sure.
With it pending at the White House. But we are hearing it's going to be extensive. But what we're hearing from the FAA is that the extensively detailed rulemaking is really intended to unlock the airspace with a risk-based approach.
Risk-based.
So the more complex, the more risky the operation is, the more content there is in the rule to define how those operations can be conducted.
Okay.
But what we will likely be a little surprised about is that
drum roll.
In the past, the FAA had taken the position that they wanted to focus just on broadcast remote identification. There's now indications that they're looking at
network remote ID.
Remote ID.
It's coming back. It's back to the future.
That's right. As a solution that's more scalable, right?
So they stuck that in the BVLOS rule.
That's what the indications are.
Okay, because that issue of remote ID held up the remote ID rule for an extra year because of litigation. I'm hoping there's nothing like that with this one, because I feel like that will just delay us further. But hopefully it's all good and it's all happy.
That's right. Yeah, and just keep in mind it's a notice of proposed rulemaking, so stakeholders really have to be prepared to dig into it, find what's good, what's bad, give advice, because it's only going to make the final rule better and allow for the integration to happen more quickly. But
absolutely. So, do you guys have a blog or something that people can start reading today about all of these issues, and also how can they reach you?
Yeah, we put out a lot of content on our website. We've got an aviation blog. We have an autonomous transportation team that puts out a lot of written product as well. So we're through our website, hklaw.com. You can sign up for all of our content, whether you want trade and tariffs, all the way to autonomy and transportation. But you can reach me, Joel, Joel.Roberson, Roberson, at hklaw.com, or find us on online or on LinkedIn or on Twitter or X. I'm at Vehicle Tech Law.
And I assume you'll be at the FAA Drone AAM Symposium in DC.
I will.
The end of July. See you there.
Absolutely. See
all right.
There.
So, hey everybody, for real, that's all she wrote. We're looking forward to walking the floor a little bit more, seeing more technology. But in the meantime, everybody, we are out here